Behind Magnuson Hotels' first quarter performance of 2020 are thousands of men and women working 24/7 in Magnuson Hotels locations. Melissa Magnuson and our company want to say thank you to every one of you and to your families at home. Today, we're proud to report sustainable Q1 2020 results for Magnuson Hotels and our affiliates. Benchmarking against Smith Travel Research, for Q1, we're finding that Magnuson Hotels occupancy dropped 0.4% compared to a fall of 15% for the USA. That's a factor of almost 30 to 1. Average room rates have held strong across the portfolio, slipping only $1.06 compared to a US average of $15.32. Magnuson sustained a 5.84% reduction in RevPAR, while CBRE forecasts a decline in RevPAR of 46% across the USA for the rest of this year. Jeremy and Adnan, what do you see from your outlook?
The suburban, small metro town, the interstate markets are for sure have suffered less of an impact than the primary markets. We've been looking at essential workers, blue collars, looking at all the construction and transportation as well. We saw the situation starting in the middle of March at the full peak of the Florida market, peak season. So there's been a lot of cancellation coming through in the initial weeks. We saw negative pickups happening. Now what we do see is that it's starting to recover ever so slightly. So comparing this week with what we saw a month ago, I'm delighted to say that we're seeing double the pickup that we were getting back then. Like Texas, who has kept all their hotels open and still accommodate the blue collars and transportation as well. So these markets have done extremely well given the circumstance. And then I think most and foremost, the strength has come from our hotel owners in the way that they kept a very cool head over the past weeks. And the frontline workers have redoubled their efforts to ensure rooms are clean, to put the right measures in place and keep accommodating our guests. Now, what we did notice as well is that exterior corridor properties were faring better. Obviously, the benefit being that guests do not have to share lifts, lobbies, or corridors to go to their room. I think this has played an important part as well.
Magnuson, not only, we don't only work towards one market. We're a global company to begin with. As this pandemic actually started to hit us, starting from the Chinese sector in that particular region and coming towards Europe and then eventually going towards the States, we are not only focused or located in one market to begin with. So we saw the trends that actually started emerging from all of these markets. We innovated, we made a contingent plan, and then going forward, we put that contingency plan into place, looking at the trends of the market to begin with. But, we keep on adapting to our contingencies for this pandemic on a daily basis, making daily changes, daily contacting our owners, and, as from distribution standpoint, basically going up to them and letting them know if there is something new. We are seeing reservations start to flow in, starting from the month of June, going towards July, and some in September to begin with. The interesting part to look into this factor is to see the month of October, whereby we are seeing one of the peak pickups for the entire year coming through. At the end of quarter one, whereby you would see corporate travel completely has come to a standstill, where you would see that leisure market going into the holiday periods has come to a standstill as well. Now, corporate business has to come back, meetings have to happen, groups have to come back for leisure and everything. Looking at all of the data and the news and the advice that is coming from various governments across the world, where do you see this pandemic actually end, and where do you see business sustainability coming back? That is what we are seeing in October. As far as 2020, the whole year basically goes, we started off very, very well. Very, very well in the first quarter for the first 2 months. And then we gradually saw a decline, and then it completely fluttered as far as the US market is concerned, with an 83% drop. So in occupancy, now that is massive. It is unprecedented, never heard of before. However, the good news is that the graph has started to climb up again, starting from June onwards. I foresee us coming out very, very strong in this particular, after this particular pandemic and going into June.
Jeremy, Adnan talks about the rest of the year, and no one knows what's going to happen in 2021. But what would you say to a hotel owner who is overwhelmed and wants to know, how do I just make it? What are the fundamentals I need to do to make it, just in the days ahead that lead to the weeks ahead that build to the months ahead?
Now, what I would also say to a hotel owner is to look at when the business is going to pick up again, because we know that it will, and put in place a recovery program. So when the demand starts to flow again, we are here, or the hotel is here, to actually be best positioned to capture the demand. So we're looking at content, online presence, looking at your standards, looking at your upselling, training your staff to ensure that they're confident in the product that they are selling, and they can confidently encourage their guests to upgrade to the higher room category. So these are things that we would recommend to all hotel owners to look at during this challenging time, where maybe there's more time on their hands with the lower level of occupancy.
Adnan, we entered 2020 with the second largest supply increase in history, just after 2008. And so now we entered this year knowing that in a fairly low growth environment at the start of this year, we had the second largest supply increase coming online. Plus, there's about 12%, about a 12% of the U.S. supply that is not recorded of sharing economy and Airbnb, creating more competition for every hotel in every market. Now, we're all optimistic that any hotel in a good location with the fundamentals can make it through all this. But on a larger scale, who do you see as the winners and losers in the year ahead?
Now, if you are working as a hotel on 2 or 3 platforms, and in this developing world, the way that we look at it, it is not necessary to do so. I think you should have one consolidated, excellent user-friendly platform to begin with. That could reduce your costs, whereby, on that particular platform, you manage not only your booking engine to begin with, but manage your OTAs as well. You do not need 2 or 3 platforms to do so. It's said, if you look at your costs over the whole year of what you basically pay towards 2 or 3 platforms, that is exponential.
Well, there you have it. This is our Q1 2020 performance report. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun today.
Thank you.
Okay. I had to move Elvis because he was coming. Melissa said he was coming out of my head.
Nice.
Is that cheesy?
That is really, really cool. Honestly, it is.
Hello, Adnan.
Yeah.
Love you, baby.
Not bad.
I don't think it's recording.
You woken up?
I've not had enough coffee today.
Hello.
You do see the bed on there. Okay, well, Adnan.
Point number 10. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good video.
Look
Hello.
at it, like, hey. Well, now I've forgotten what the question was.